All right, well, I hope that doesn't happen again. Last time I started my camera, it said my file was corrupted, so hopefully I don't do all this for nothing. But I'm here at the airport today. It's a little dark. Beautiful day. Not an ounce of wind at all. Gonna be pulling the Challengers out, probably these two out. That one needs to be ran. Obviously, I normally fly mine. So what I'm gonna do today, guys, is crow hops. This is just a video I'm making because I see a lot of discussion about crow hops, and crow hops I've noticed have become like politics. You know, you kind of pick your side, you take your side. And some people that I highly respect have the opposite opinion as I do, and that's fine. That's how it should be in politics too. I am pro crow hop, but I am pro properly crow hopping, and I'm not the all-saying power or anything like that, but I do feel there's a certain way to do it and to do it safely. So that's what we're gonna discuss today. And I know you guys like it when I'm in the plane discussing things and not outside of the plane discussing things. So I'm going to get the plane pre-flighted. I was actually here last night, put fuel in it, and worked on Robert's plane. You guys can see Robert's got new wheels or tires, and then I fixed the rudder linkage. And I also had to cinch down we put a new pitot tube in. I'm just realizing walking up to this that looks low on air. So I wonder if they just didn't put a lot of air in it or if it's just sitting oddly. So I don't know, I'll have to look at that. But I'm gonna get mine pre-flighted, and then we're gonna crow hop. Definitely crow hop in my plane because that's what I'm gonna make the video in. But it's possible I might message Robert and say, hey, do you want me to put some time on your plane today? And if that's the case, then I'll do that one too in the video. Unfortunately, you just won't have audio, so you'll just have to watch it, I guess. But let me get the plane ready. Let's get out there, and let's, I will say one thing. To me, there are three keys with crow hopping. And I've seen videos of people crow hopping, and I'm like, what are they doing? Why are you doing it that way? That's not safe. To me, the three keys are full power. You have to go full power, which means that obviously if you're not comfortable with your plane, you need to do a lot of taxiing and then high-speed taxiing and just kind of get used to what it's going to do when the engine's going, or you know, when you have under full power, because sometimes you get full power and a two-stroke has a lot of punch, so that can scare somebody sometimes. Then number two is get into ground effect. Like get above ground effect, get full authority of the airplane. Ground effect is, you know, they say is defined by a half a wing, like your whole wing, cut it in half. So I have, you know, 32.5 feet or whatever. So let's just say roughly 17 feet from the ground, I'm in ground effect. So what I do is I go full power, I get into ground effect with that full power, boom, take full authority of the airplane. Then that's when I pull the power back, and then now it's like I'm landing, I'm coming in for landing. One of the mistakes I see, and one of the reasons I think people that, like I said, highly respect are against it, are that people aren't doing full power and they're just getting in a high angle of attack and at a low speed, and then they stall, you know, whether the wing falls down or it just stalls down. So that's the main problem. If you're watching this because you want to crow hop your airplane that you just bought, that would be my number one, full power. Number two, get above ground effect, get into ground effect. Get the nose down before you pull the power back. You don't want to pull the power back when you're at a high angle of attack. Number three, this should be number one. Number one, the most important part is be willing to go around. If you are running out of space, if you have a small area you're working with, go around. Do not risk it. It's not worth it. And your plane wants to fly. And if you're flying a plane like this one, then you're already a pilot more than likely. 2-seat requires a license. That one does not. If you are in a plane like the Challenger 1 and you haven't had any flight time in it, you're crow hopping or you're attempting to crow hop, and all of a sudden you get a little too high and you realize that you might not be able to land in time, everything's going to be fine. Just go full power, just slowly climb. You should already know what the speeds of your aircraft are, what your best VY and VX are. So you should know what your best speed for climb, basically. I'm trying to say it for people who aren't pilots. For example, you know, you want to climb out 50-55 in the Challenger. So just climb out and then just enter the pattern and just kind of treat it like a video game at that point. You know, there's no reason to, not that it's a video game, but there's no reason to panic. It's going to happen to you, especially if you're only working with, you know, if you're working with like 1,500, 2,000 feet, yeah, you're probably, there might come a time where you're gonna have to go around. But so anyways, enough blabbing. Let me get this thing pre-flighted, and then let's get out and do the rest from inside the plane. All right, guys. I've got my GoPro 12 here at the 1,000-foot remaining sign, which means that we have 1,000 feet that way, which leaves us 1,500 feet this direction. I will be going down there and using 1.8 because it's going to be kind of a crosswind either way. So I'll be down there and landing right before here probably, or maybe just somewhere after. But I'm using my cell phone because all the GoPros are mounted. So here we go.
Looks good. Got a full tank of fuel. Yeah, so like I was saying, I've got this camera set up over here. It's been running for a while, and that's a GoPro 12. And man, the footage it puts out is so like high quality that you have to like turn it down and hope for the best, so that because it's like an hour's worth of footage. It takes like 3 hours to download. It's kind of crazy. But that's over there. If you can see it with that wing on that stick right there. And then we're gonna be using one of this. And Vakamu Yellow Experimental 625 Bravo is going to back taxi 18 Vakamu. Alright, I don't see anybody in the area. My traffic is on. Everything looks clear. Nobody responded, so here we go. I'm already sweating. That's that 40-year-old morning sweat. Oh my goodness. So, in regards to the length of your runway, you know, I'm not sure. We'll do, in this video, I will do what I consider to be like a quote-unquote short crow hop. You don't need, you know, 3,000, 5,000 feet. You just need enough to do it. But if you're going to do it in a shorter area, like say you bought like an ultralight and you're going to do it at a 1,500-foot runway, you just need to be content with the fact that you're probably going to have to go around a 7. Big deal, guys. If you're in a plane that you haven't flown before, and you're doing a high-speed taxi, or you're doing a crow hop, and you get up in the air and you get your authority and you put the nose down and you look and you're like, oh no, I can't land. Don't panic. Just go full power, and then just climb nice and beautifully. Always use every bit of runway you have for a crow hop. You never know when that 5 feet could make a difference. And yeah, you'll be good. And again, there's nothing, if you have to go around, guys, it's not the end of the world. It'll be fun. By the time you're done, you'll be like, wow, that was crazy. Now we just gotta land, you know? But you gotta do that in a crow hop anyways. Alright guys, the first one, I'm just gonna do a regular one. A regular crow hop. Just to show you how I would do it with 2,500 foot of runway. And Vakamu Yellow Experimental 625 Bravo is gonna do a crow hop from 18 Vakamu. Get this biting animal out, or insect out of here. Alright, go full power.
5 miles to the east.
And then I'm going to be rotating at 40.
18 for full stop.
Keeping my nose off the ground a little bit already. There we go. Get up here, full power, get a 40. Pull the power back. Go ahead, get in here. I'm actually using a little more runway than I think I would normally need. And I'm just going to be in ground effect and just kind of work it. Now, one of the reasons people don't like crow hops, I believe, is because people normally don't go full power. They don't commit to it, you know. So I just used 2,000 foot of runway, and I wasn't really trying. But at the same time, I have a lot of experience in this airplane. So, you know, if you're new to a Challenger, then it might make sense for you to have, you know, 2,500 foot runway.
There's no wind.
And I committed to it. I got up. I stayed flying a little bit too long. I probably, you know, should have got down. Now, if you have a 5,000 foot runway, then heck, just fly that bad boy for a little bit, you know, get used to it. This next one is probably the one I should have done first, but I didn't want Carlos to see this one and go, oh my God, what is he doing? Now I've told him. So this next one is how you don't do a crow hop. We've already done our run up and everything and we're good, so. All right, here's how we don't want to do a crow hop. We don't want to slow roll it, okay? Here we go. Now, this is the don't do it. So number one, I'm in a hole or on something. All right, so look, I'm only at, oh no, I'm scared of the plane. Oh, I'm just rolling. Okay, I'm not quite full power. I'm 6,000 RPMs now. Okay, I pull up. I'm not quite going. And then look, this is what people do. Oh gosh. Well, look, the reason. Oh no. Oh geez. I don't. You know. Now this is being success. This is being a successful crow hop, but this is not how you do it. I never got out of ground effect, and I never got full authority of the plane. My angle of attack was always a little high, and if I would have pulled back on the power, the plane would have just fell out of the sky. And that's, now I was being a little safe, so I put the nose down and kind of kept it flying a little low. But yeah, so that's how you don't do it. Don't hesitate on the throttle. Make sure my cameras are still going. Don't hesitate on the throttle, and when you don't pull back on the power once you're up there, because I saw a video, it was about 1.5 years ago on YouTube, and not on YouTube, on Facebook, and a guy said, oh, I'm crow hopping I think it was a Phantom or something. And it was pretty horrible, because what he did was a really slow roll, and then kept his nose at a really high angle of attack and a low power. You could tell it wasn't using all the power. And I was like, wow, this is horrible. And of course, you know, people commented on it. And then the people who are anti-crow hoppers, like, this is why you don't crow hop. Like, even one of my favorite people to watch is Courtney. Courtney Takes Flight, you know? And she doesn't believe, I remember reading in that thing where she was like, do not crow hop. But it's just a matter of how you do it, you know? You gotta boss the crow hop. You have to just take the crow hop and make it yours, you know? You gotta full power, get up, get the nose down. And then get on the ground. And then again, the number one thing is you got to be willing to go around, and that's what we're going to do right now. So watch what's going to happen on this one. I'm Johnny, new pilot. And Vakamu, Yellow Experimental 635 Bravo is going to be departing 18, I'll be left traffic, Vakamu. So this is going to be, you heard me on the radio there, but this is going to be a simulated, like I ran out of space, okay? Let's recheck everything. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Temps are good. All right, fuel pump's on. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go brakes on, full power. Okay, boom. About 30, I pull back a little bit, and then 40. Let's get in the air. Tap the brakes. Okay, look, I'm here, and I'm flying. I got full authority, and I'm like, oh crap, I can't land. I gotta go around. So we just gotta commit to it, guys. I didn't have enough space. Now if there was an emergency, I'd have enough space. I'd land in that field or whatever. Still experimental 685 Bravo downwind 18. Just in case somebody, it's a nice enough day. So, yeah, guys, I don't know how much else I could do for,
Gainesville traffic, career track 506, Cessna 172, 10 miles north of the airport for touch and go, runway 18.
Okay, let's talk about one more thing really quick before I end this video. Watch this. I'm going to pull the power back. Watch what happens. Look at that. What happened? The nose just climbed way up, right? Okay, let's simulate an emergency. Boom, I just lost power. Look, if I don't let go of the nose is going to come up and I'm going to stall.
Career track 631.
I just simulated an emergency, so we have no engine. I could shut it off, but I don't want to. And Vakamu, Yellow Experimental 685 Bravo is going to be final 18, Vakamu.
Warrior 3897, turning right, crosswind 419 Cranberry.
So you saw, the point of what I was telling you guys, actually this relates to the crow hopping too. If you lose your engine during any phase of flight, in an airplane where the engine is in the rear, you would think the opposite, that the nose, oh gosh, the nose is going to fall down. No, what happens is the nose actually comes up pretty crazy. It comes up really high actually, so yeah, that's something that you have to take into consideration. And you got to keep your momentum, guys, when you don't have power. Got a grasshopper, a spider, a daddy longlegs. There's like some spiders that live up in here, I think, and they're not doing any damage, but I just was like, well, they'll come out while I'm flying, I guess. Yeah, so to recap, one of the reasons I did what I did was because if you're crow hopping and you lose power you think the nose is going to come down, and what is your natural instinct in an airplane? Now again, if your engine's in front, this is going to be different for you. But your natural instinct is to do what? To pull back because you don't want to like hit the ground, right? You have to override that instinct when you're doing crow hopping or even flying of an airplane with the engine in the rear, because at that point in time, it's critical that you actually put the nose down, because you will very quickly lose speed, and if you lose speed, you will hit the ground, and it might not be good. So, now I'm going to do what I consider to be an expedited crow hop. You know, my airplane takes more than the Challenger 1 does for distance, so I'm going to try to get it fully stopped before that 1500. It shouldn't be too big of an issue. I might not get it a full crow hop out of it, but this will give you guys kind of a general idea if you're... So again, I'm trying to act like I only have a 1,500-foot runway here. And there's no traffic in the area, so we'll just get at it. Here we go, full power. Boom. And also, you know, I weigh 225, and I have a full tank of gas. Alright, so boom, I'm up. Okay, here's a crow hop. Alright, pull power back. Power back, nose down, nose down. Okay, so you see there, I still have time to spare. I have 1,000 feet. I mean, I could have stopped the plane 300 or 400 feet ago probably. But, yeah, so there's that camera. Hopefully that's seeing good. So that's a crow hop, you know, trying to get up and down pretty quickly. And as you can see in that last one, where I expedited it, I didn't quite get full authority of the plane. I was kind of in a higher angle of attack. So, you know, you don't need a 5,000-foot runway to do this stuff, guys. But I will say, if you're just buying the plane, you're not a pilot, you're not comfortable with it, number one, you should be flying with somebody who's an instructor or something so that they can help you with that. And number two, you should probably try to put your plane at a longer runway until you get used to it. So.
All right, guys. Now I'm going to pull Robert's Challenger 1 out and get it fired up and maybe do some crow hops with it. He hasn't answered me yet, but if he doesn't, I'll just put it back. But at least I want to run it. I want to get the engine lubed up. So, and I have permission to do that at least. So, yeah. So let's pull it out and see what we can get going. All right, guys. A little audio over here. I am not able to connect my audio to this airplane because it doesn't have a 12-volt system in regards to a comm box. I'll show you guys that after this clip here. So basically I just pulled the Challenger 1 out and did some crow hopping. I did some full-length crow hops. A couple of them were short and a couple of them were climbing high. I don't remember the order in which I did that, but I think I did like 6 to 8 crow hops with the Challenger 1, and I wanted to get this engine, you know, we haven't ran this thing in quite a while, and it is a 377, and so I wanted to make sure that we ran it, and before we put it back in the pattern and flying, I had just done some work to it for Robert. You know, it's got new tires, and we worked on the rudder and the pitot tube, and everything seemed pretty good for the flight. The numbers seemed fairly accurate. And but yeah, so sorry I had to do a little voiceover here. I have the camera on my head and everything, but that footage, it just was like staring at the dash, so there was no, at the instrument cluster there's no reason to mess with that. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys like this. Another thing I want to say is if you're still here during this video, I appreciate it if you can hit a like, a comment. I know I say that a lot, but one of the main reasons I say that is because, you know, I have made a lot of videos and put a lot of effort into this, and for some reason I'm actually getting less views each video than I normally do. So if you do appreciate and like this content, it really helps me if you just even like it or comment or whatever, just something. If you don't do that, then unfortunately it doesn't put it in the algorithm, and then I get less and less and fewer views. So the moral of the story is, yeah, if you're still here, I'd really appreciate it. I do try to make videos that are quality for you guys. Also, I want to apologize about the audio earlier in the video. I'm not exactly sure what was going on. I believe that where I connect the GoPro to my headset, I believe that got loose and was shaking around and touching the bar in the back of my plane, and it was making that noise. So I noticed that whenever I hit the radio, it would go away for a while in the video. I tried to cut as much of it out as possible, but I also wanted the video to have a lot of what we're talking about here with pro hops in it. So I didn't want to cut it all out. So I really hope you guys gained something from this, and I appreciate you watching. And I'll just let you guys watch this last few landings, and then I have an outro coming up. So thanks again. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I went to my truck to grab my water and found my hat. I wish I'd had that from the get-go because I hate my hair. Sorry about the voiceover. You guys had to watch the voiceover in the Challenger 1. The reason you had to do that was because to get your audio to your GoPro, you actually have to have a comm box. And I have the Sigtronics Transcom 2, and that's ran to the battery. And you have to have a battery source to have your your headset and everything being recorded to your GoPro, because that plugs into here and here, and then it's got the 12-volt power from up here and blah blah blah. So you had to listen to a voiceover for a minute there. Sorry about that. So I know I probably sound like a broken record in this video, but I'm not a professional, but I have my personal 3 things that are important, and that's the things we discussed. Full power, get up above ground effect, or at least at the top end of ground effect, get the nose down, then pull the power back, and go around. If you take anything from this video, hold on, making sure it's on. If you take anything from this video, guys, guys and gals or whoever, just know that your plane wants to fly. Make sure, so if you're gonna go around, it's not a problem. Don't panic. Make sure you have plenty of fuel in your plane. Make sure you put plenty of fuel in there so that if you do go around and you're not comfortable landing, you can make multiple different approaches. And if you're gonna do that, when you're doing your pattern, don't do real tight circles, you know, do kind of a square pattern so that you're not putting yourself at any odd angles, so you don't risk a stall. And with planes like the ultralights, fly it like you stole it. Use a lot of power. When you pull the power back, like right now, I was at, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 feet. I pull the power back a little bit, man, it wants to just, they're done flying. And my analogy I like to use for that is, think about if you have a baseball in one hand and a wiffle ball in the other hand. Well, while you have the power of your engine throwing it, they're both gonna go pretty quick. But a baseball, which is kind of more like my Challenger 2 because it's heavier, it'll continue to roll, right? The wiffle ball is going to be right here in front of you because they're a lot lighter. So the moral of the story is you've got to apply a lot more power to that and keep the power until you're going to land. That's when you pull the power back. And don't forget, when you pull the power back, what does the nose do? It goes up. So this is not really an educational video, but it's a video I wanted to make because it's controversial. I don't know. I don't know why I can't say that word right now. Normally I can, but I can't right now. So whatever, don't judge me. I'm 40. Leave, it is my birthday again. Leave, it's the last time you're gonna hear about it. And the funny part is the last 39 years I haven't talked about my birthday, but there's something overwhelming about it being a 40th birthday. There's a plane flying over Wakamu. But yeah, if you're still here, please leave a like, a comment, just anything. Just do anything that might help the channel, because I'm really trying to put content out for you guys. Really trying to, it's not easy being out here sweating and, you know, doing all this, putting gas in these things and keeping these things up, you know, although I'd be flying anyways, but you know, I want to make content for you guys. The only way I can do that is if you subscribe, like, share, comment. Like and comment are the main things. Subscribing is great too. So I don't know what the next video is going to be, but I'll figure it out. You guys know how I roll. So have a good day.